The Sunday sequence break. It is Sunday, the 5th of October. We are live here on the Sunday sequence break at 7 p.m. Eastern. And tonight we're doing Phantasy Star Online. And we got a couple of guests with us. Feasel, you want to introduce them real quick? Feasel, are you there? Or are you still playing with Scott?
Oh, yep, I'm still here.
Oh, fantastic. Why don't you talk to our guests real quick?
I just had a bunch of socks jammed in the microphone.
Oh, no.
I don't know how this happens. This is what happens when you run the microphone through the washing machine and the dryer.
Oh, man.
You got to separate these things out so that doesn't happen.
But yeah, we do have guests.
Yes, we do, in fact, have guests this week. So one of them is LeFrozer. Or LeFrozer, straight from France.
Oh, just what? No. No. Just call me Frozen. That's totally fine.
Okay, sounds good, Frozer. And we have our other guest, Carl Bobadine.
Well,
I assume that's how you pronounce it. Is that right?
It's either the C is supposed to be silent, but people call me C. Carl Bobadine.
I like Carl because it sounds like I'm stuttering.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of people do that too.
All right, cool. So far I'm 0 for 2 on names. And we have some of the usual set of hosts. We have Fisale. No, that's not right either.
Fisale.
We have the great Gilderkoff.
Hello.
And we have Flicky.
Who says...
Well, I guess I'm going to get none of them then.
Meta humor.
I saved him for last because I wanted to end on a high note. But...
Oh, okay.
So we got a great show for you this week.
We do.
Our game of the week is Phantasy Star Online, and then we're going to be doing a whole bunch of records.
That we will.
As usual. So
how about a
we
little
should
recap?
probably do a recap.
Okay,
right?
Let me hit a split real quick, and then let's do that.
Just
what you been up to?
Just waiting for that.
Oh, it's happened. Go.
Oh, baby.
What you been up to, Face?
You need to slam that spacebar really hard.
Oh, my bad. Next time I'll hit it with authority.
All right. What have I been doing? Man, this has been a pretty busy week. I was away for part of the week. I was visiting relatives, and then I got back and had some work to catch up on, and I got to play a little bit of video games, but did not get a chance to stream, which made me very sad, because that's a sad week when I don't get any stream time. Mm-hmm. But we'll look for that to change starting next week.
Fantastic.
But begun preparation for some upcoming projects. I shouldn't say anything yet, but some new stuff that's in the works.
Sneaky little secrets.
But that's about it. Not really much. Just doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff.
Right on.
How about you? What have you been doing?
What have I been doing? Well, a lot of trials work again. Just still trying to get ready to start running Fusion any percent. I am going to have to be doing some Demon Head coming up, starting Monday probably. We're going to Chicago-thon actually. What is that? The 16th through the 20th is when I'll be gone. So doing that. And then the other night I quietly applied for partner and actually got it. So I've got partner and a sub button now. So I'm getting E-famous, y'all.
I know. Welcome. Welcome to the ranks of the E-famous.
Woo! Gonna be a star someday, Ma. I promise. But yeah, that's about it. Demon Head resumes Monday. Trials probably interspersed with that a little bit here and there. But
Neat. Is that the only game you're playing at the Chicago-thon?
Yeah, I'm only going to do Demon Head. We might might do like a joke exhibition of straight baseball life, but that's just silly stuff. That's not an actual speed run or anything like that. That's more of a like kind of a bonus stream type of thing or something.
So who's organizing Chicagothon?
Chicagothon is being put on by Skinner. Let's see, and Clage. I think they're the two main organizers behind it, but got a pretty damn good lineup of games and stuff. The schedule's not 100% finalized, so I don't want to post a link just yet. But as soon as that does, I'll send you the link. We could get it up on the TSSB site and stuff like that.
All right, cool.
So,
sounds good.
Yeah, we'll be running kind of parallel to DeuceCon, so tune into both. Don't just watch us. Like, we're cool people, but DeuceCon's going to be pretty freaking awesome too. So.
All right, cool. Let's see. So, Frozer, what have you been up to this past week?
Basically, I had a lot of work to do. It was like basically last week until like the school vacation. Now I have 2 weeks of vacation. Sadly, it's not like a really good time to do a vacation because I have to move in like 3 weeks. So yeah, I've been probably busy like packing things up and bring it to the other house. And other than that, like I learned Super Castlevania 4, but then I dropped it like as of today because I hate this game, and I decided like to concentrate a little bit on the other game, which I will talk about it a little bit later when the records show up.
Okay.
Something. Yeah.
Well, neat. Yeah, Castlevania 4 is a fun game. It's the popular thing for people to pick up. I think lots of people are coming around to that. I was considering learning it myself, so we'll see.
Yeah, like the thing is like picking it up is actually really easy, but like then doing like certain things consistently is really hard, and sometimes it gets really frustrating, and that's why I actually dropped it because, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It doesn't take long to learn one of the levels, but then you realize that there's a few things that are just really tricky to get right.
Yep.
I think I was doing fine up until I got to the point where I had to start doing the skips with the whip swinging on the whip and doing some of those shortcuts, and yeah, that's going to take some work.
Yeah, I actually didn't even get that far, like just basically just running from the levels A to B. Yeah.
All right, cool. That's nice. Carl, what have you been up to this week?
Well, mostly playing Monster Hunter.
That's a good thing to do.
Yes, I haven't had any real motivation to speedrun stuff. I kind of want to learn something other than fantasy, but I haven't actually put any effort into doing that. So, yeah, just kind of been playing Monhun, killing things, getting gear, being a little casual.
Hey, once in a while, casual ain't bad.
Taking a casual week. I understand. Well, let's hope that you've saved up some of your seriousness for this very serious game that we're about to talk about.
This is serious business. I'm gonna hit this.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Spent the week getting all of his casual out of the way just to make this happen.
Hope y'all heard that.
Of course.
So let's talk about Phantasy Star Online. That's why we're here today.
Yep.
So what can you tell us about this game? Like, basically, give us the overview of it. What's it like speedrunning this game for people who are not particularly familiar with it?
So yeah, I'm gonna talk about the first what actually Phantasy Star Online, how it actually began, like the game itself. It's basically like one of the first online games on console, and it's like basically just planned to be online game as well. So nobody was actually like expecting to do a speedrun of that up until a certain point. So for people who never actually played this game before, it's basically like a dungeon crawler thing, like for example like the Diablo genre and etc. Like you have can create a character where like there are 3 different characters.
3 different classes.
All 3 different classes, and like each and every one of those classes have 4 different subclasses. Like the first one is the hunter. The hunter is like basically like a melee fighter, and he's basically using like swords and sabers and yeah, like all those blade weapons. I guess you can say. Then there are rangers, which are focused on ranged combat, and then there are forces, which are basically like the mage class in the game. And each and every one of those have like 4 different subclasses, which is like gender specific and what type of character it is. Like it has like the normal human, which is basically like average. Then there is a caste, which is basically like a robot, and a human, which is like
An elf.
that's something you should explain, Carl.
Well, going with the lore of Phantasy Star Online, they're actually creations of the humans. They wanted to perfect being perfect or something. I don't know, but they ended up altering humans and making Numans, who have a shorter life expectancy but a greater adaptability to photons, which is the techniques. Or the magic, rather.
Yeah, that's
Humans
yeah,
and
like,
Newmans. Okay.
Yeah, and then if you get further into the lore, PSO2, PSU, they make Doomans, another sub-race of humans.
That name is pretty silly.
All right.
Yeah.
So then, in terms of a speed run, do you tend to play the different classes as different categories, or people-
Originally we started that way, but I'm currently not sure. Oh, personally, I don't know if we should anymore, just because of the nature of the game.
Yeah, but like basically like actually like the first speedrun was actually like back in 2007 2008, and at this point like they were separated in classes. Yeah, that's where I made a little bit of research. Like the first speedrun I actually found about was by a guy called Jonathan Brightstar Fields. I don't know at which year, at which month he actually won, and the runtime is still not unknown, but it was basically when you read the first SDA thread, which was made in March 2007. It was basically like the founder like of PSO speedrunning. But like the most known PSO runs at the time were like a run by Dexter. It's not Dexter's Lab, like the guy who runs Ninja Gaiden and all the
Right, a different
NES classic.
Dexter.
Yeah, it's a different Dexter, and he had like at that time there were actually only segmented runs of this game, probably because it was really long and also a little bit hard, I would say.
I still got to give props to the segmented runners, though. It's not easy to segment this game because you have to have a memory card that you have a USB port that you can connect to your computer to store your save data. Because every time you quit the game, it saves automatically, and you can't get the data from the previous run through. So if they wanted to perfect it, they'd have to back up the data of that current playthrough and go back to their PC and get it. Those memory cards aren't easy to find, and they're all third party.
Yes, exactly. Then like probably like Dexter's 2 hours and 3 minutes force run. By the way, this was actually in-game time, so that's why it's not in seconds. And probably in SDA like they only use the in-game time for whatever reason. I don't know. I didn't find out anything about that. And then later on there was a Hunter run by a guy named Joe Chi. His run was like 20 minutes slower, but he already expected to be much slower than the 203 Force run, simply because like a Force has a really good damage output early game, probably like for the first 40 to 50 levels if you starting off a fresh character. But the problem is the Force is actually one of the hardest characters to play because of the survivability of the character. You can basically get two-shot by everything like during the run, and as far as I know, you actually need certain amount of items to actually survive the final fight of this game, and that's why it's only segmented at this point. So probably most of the people probably think about it like, okay, so there are like is it like the Dreamcast version of this game or the GameCube version? The thing is, I haven't found out about what actually, which console is actually preferred at that point. But I think most of the people were using the GameCube version because of the faster loading times, and I think it's one of the more it's one of the versions which is more accessible to begin with.
Well, sure, a
I'm
lot
not
more
so
people
sure.
with GameCubes than Dreamcasts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, the people also rightfully agreed that Dreamcast and GameCube versions are like separate consoles, and thus they have separate categories. Also, there's actually a version of the game which is basically version 1 of Phantasy Star Online for Dreamcast, which has a walking through doors glitch, and yeah, you can basically just walk through any door at this point, from everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Andy?
But I haven't there wasn't actually a run doing it because you would be quite underleveled at this point. So yeah, at this point, most of the people are running without using of any glitches, except for a particular one, which I'm gonna talk about it later. The first really big glitch at this stage was the weapon stacking glitch. On the SDA thread, they discussed it in the beginning of 2008, but the problem they had at this point is for doing the weapon stacking glitch, you actually need a lot of money, so you can buy a lot of weapons and equip them at the same time. You basically need around 30,000 meseta, and getting this amount of money it takes a lot of time if you're playing through it casually, or even in speedrun, it's actually not possible to collect it.
Should I go ahead and pull up that tutorial video, by the way?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
if you want to, yeah, that'd probably be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll do
let's
that.
talk about that.
And I will grab the link out of the chat earlier and post that in the, actually I won't be able to do that. So Fees, if you want to do that from the Skype call, grab the link. There's a YouTube link in there,
Okay.
which will be to this specific video for somebody who wants to hear it. It's got audio commentary, but we'll let the guests talk over this one here.
Yeah.
So, go right ahead, guys.
Right. So for this glitch, the setup at least, we have to duplicate the money in order to get enough money to purchase all the weapons we need. Which there are different setups that between me and LeFrozer. LeFrozer ends up buying 26 weapons. I buy 23, which is about the minimum you can get to kill things quickly. And so yeah, we start off by, well, I like to call window shopping, dragging this lady over to the spot where we need to mess with the menus to get the lady's dialogue to overwrite the shop's dialogue, allowing you to walk around while in a shop menu. And then after that, we need to go to talk to another shop, which will close out the previous shop's menu, allowing us to walk around while seeing where our character is walking with the menu open.
That is pretty... Sometimes I wonder how these things get found.
I don't know, but then after
Pretty awesome.
that, we need to swap the shop menu out for the bank menu so we can start the duplication process, which I found an easy to do way. Or at least I think it's easy, which is in my tutorial. But after that, with the menus open together, you need to drop a single meseta and then deposit the rest of your meseta, but in a special way. Dropping a single meseta will leave you with 299, and being able to deposit 300 meseta, well, since you don't have that much, you can't deposit that much, but it still deposits the 300. So effectively doubling it.
Huh.
It doesn't take it out of your inventory because there isn't that much meseta to take out of your inventory. So being able to manipulate the menus like that is very handy.
Interesting. So this was found back in 2008, but didn't really get applied in a speedrun until recently, huh?
No, not exactly. The problem at this point, as I said before, it was the meseta, the money, the currency you have in this game. You don't have enough money to actually stack a lot of weapons. it makes a small difference if you equip like one or two more weapons, but it's not that big.
The extra weapons are just for damage ranges of enemies that have a larger health.
Yes, exactly. I think later on, like the Meseta stacking glitch got discovered. But at this point, I haven't found anything about the speedrun itself. Like, I probably at this point up until late of 2013, there was like probably only C. Carl and Shaden at this point, like who were doing runs. Probably empty numbers if someone remembers his name. Like they were like the only one who did runs, like once or twice a month or something like that. I don't know. Like the the recent rise was of this game of the speedrun of this game was like in late of 2013. Like the thing is, like I was actually like this was actually the time where I joined like the speedrunning community at this point. And I actually like looked at like the submissions of last year's of AGDQ 2014, and then there was a post of Adam who made made a big joke about like making a 100% speedrun of PSO at AGDQ with the ridiculous amount of ridiculous high estimate. But at this point, I was actually like thinking, there's probably like a good method to actually do it really really fast. And then like I just opened up the thread, and like there was one or two more people coming up who are actually have done runs of this, and basically shared like the tutorial of the Meseta stacking, like Meseta duping and weapon stacking and so on. And then like probably like I don't know, but like the first thing I actually did was like learning those glitches at first, because I actually practiced that like I did it actually casually, because sometimes it's getting way too hard, and I'm deeply sorry about that. It kind of killed the fun of this game. And like the first thing I actually did was like trying to do a run of episode 2, which is basically like a separate, like it's basically an add-on, but like not a different game, but like it has the same engines. Most of the enemies are recycled and so on.
Right,
And,
it's just
like,
another map for it, basically.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty decent way to explain it or describe it.
Yeah,
All right.
basically, yeah. And then I actually met Carl, who was running this game with the knowledge of the glitch, right?
Yeah.
And can you actually elaborate? Like, can you actually elaborate how you actually got into it? You never told me about that.
Oh, getting into the speedrunning this game. Well, it's just I always wanted to speedrun something, but I never had the time to learn anything else. So I figured I'd pick something that I knew already, that I was good at playing, and because this is the only game that I played for like 12 plus years, it's like, I know pretty much a lot of this game. Let's see how fast I can go. My problem with starting this game, however, was I wasn't good at doing the money duplication glitch, because I never bothered to do that, because that was never an issue for me when I played casually. So when I started speedrunning this game, I excluded that glitch and destroyed the forest, started the weapon stacking glitch, and then proceeded to wreck the game, which adds like another 20 to 30 minutes on. And then when I saw the video in the SDA threads about the Meseta duping and then stacking, my first run doing that strat, I immediately cut off 12 minutes off my time.
That's definitely significant.
Yeah, without the Meseta duping glitch, my best time was a 119. With my first time with the Meseta duplication, I got, I think, around 59 minutes ish, and just took off from there.
Yeah, like basically at this point, we try to do to finish it as fast as possible. Like my first run of episode 2 was like 2 hours, which was incredibly bad now that I think about it. But yeah, episode 2 is a whole different story.
That's
Yeah,
better than my time in episode 2 for my first run.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, like the thing is, like the episode 1 and episode 2 have like they have actually a significant difference. Like episode 2 is a little bit longer, I would say, probably like 15 to 20 minutes. Also, episode 2 has a lot of insta-death moments, which I realized as soon as I picked it up, which actually was like a really fun experience.
Yeah, that's why I stay away from episode 2. I can't handle it without getting a little salt.
And then like the first thing I actually did, like remembering all those maps you actually see. Like there are a bunch of different maps. I think we're gonna I'm gonna discuss. I'm gonna tell it about later on.
All right.
Check the notes. Yeah, that's yeah. I think like the at this point, like end of like early 2014, probably after AGDQ, like a lot of people were trying to do runs of it. Like we both are like the only actual runners of this game up until this point, except for like another guy which joined in July or August 2000, like July or August. But like we're the only like two guys who do regular speedruns of it.
All right, and that's still the case? Really?
Currently there are other people that tend to do runs regularly, or at least try to. I have been mostly taking a break from it because I just needed to. That like my at this point with when I do runs, if I usually tend to try and do no reset runs, which kind of makes it repetitive for me. And the reason I do no reset runs is because of the map RNG. If you don't have all the maps remembered, you're gonna have a hard time trying to get through the rest of the game. Most of the maps.
Yeah, good point that you actually mentioned it. Like the biggest make or break point of PSO speedrunning is actually getting good maps or getting the right drops at the right time. And this is probably like the reason why most of the people actually dropped it.
Oh yeah, I know one runner, MT Numbers, when he first picked it up, he ran it for I want to say like half a month or so, and then he quit playing it to go practice Yoshi's Island more because this game has so much RNG with the maps.
So are the maps completely random, or are there a certain set of maps that it randomly chooses from, or is it piecewise random? Like, how does the randomness of the maps work?
Okay, so here's how the maps, the way the maps work is for single player through the forest and the caves. Each part of the forest and caves has 3 different maps for single player, and then if you hit when you hit the mines have 6 different maps for each mine. So mines 1, mines 2 has 6 maps, and then ruins 1, 2, and 3 all have 6 different maps apiece.
All right.
Yeah, so resets.
I was just about to ask if there were any specific sets of maps that just pretty much guarantee you got to reset.
Yeah, anything that's a bad map starting mines 1 or 2.
All right.
Yeah, that's when you're most likely to reset.
Yeah, that's
and
probably like well, just go on if you.
Yeah, my world record run that we're watching right now it has good maps pretty much throughout the entire thing, which makes it really hard to beat. It's the first time that's under 50 minutes, let alone 49 minutes by a second. And there are so many mistakes. Like if I get the same maps again in another run, I can save about a minute just because of how bad I played. Yeah, and that's saying how good the maps are for the rest. Like my Ruins maps, I got the 3 of the best maps. For Ruins, out of the 6 maps that you can get, for each one, there are 2 good maps with, Ruins 2 has 3 good maps that if you don't know where you're going, it's easy for you to get lost, but if you know exactly where to go and know where not to go, you'll be fine.
I see.
I'm assuming those maps are just significantly shorter in layout.
Oh yeah, there's less rooms, less enemies.
Okay, yeah, that's...
Well, at
Just
least
a
it's a
short path.
relatively small number of maps total. I mean, it's not like a rogue game where it's like, completely random. I mean, it's pieces that you can recognize. So I guess once you see what you've gotten, you know how good your RNG is, whether it's time to reset or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and there's another reason why I'm actually running episode 2 more than episode 1. Episode 2 has actually even fewer maps than episode 1. Like for the first two areas are called VR Spaceship and VR Temple and VR Spaceship. Each of those have like 2 different maps for each area. So basically, there's either a good or a bad map. Then like the next area is kind of a cluster of like certain areas have 3 different maps, certain areas have 4 different maps, and like the final area, which is called Seabed, it has like also like it's a 1 of 2 chance to get the good or the bad map. But the problem is like Seabed, everything can one hit you at this point if you're not carefully enough, or if you're really unlucky. Yeah, so like episode 2 has like less RNG, but yeah,
It's
Just a more
difficult,
dangerous run.
Yeah, it
Yep.
has a lot more chances for you to die in stupid ways. Like the biggest problem I have with doing episode 2 is there's one enemy called a Sinozoa. It's just a machine that has invisibility when it spawns. Well, most of them do, and so you can't see them unless you know where they spawn, and you can dodge them. But they spawn and then they immediately jump at you, and I have problems dodging it because I always run sideways into one of them.
Yeah, probably like that like those Sinos were like the biggest issue when I started running this game, because like they always get me and they always killed me. Yeah, and up until the point I realized, like they have like certain monsters at this area, like they have like certain spawn locations which are basically mirrored. Like if you go into a room which is basically like it has the same layout, or it's like in the same shape, you can basically tell, okay, if there is one of them, there's a second one at the opposite side of this room, and this kind of helped me like predicting their attacks and their movement. But still sometimes they can still do silly things and you will get killed. But yeah, that's episode 2, and episode 1 is like the more friendlier category at this point.
Yeah, you can survive with the current route and the class that we use for the run. You have a lot of health. You can take hits. There's like 1 or 2 creatures that can one-shot you if you're unfortunate enough to be hit by them. And actually, one of those creatures needs to crit you to kill you, which at a low level, it's not a bad chance for them to crit you, but it's still unlikely.
Okay. So is episode 1 really is episode 2 rather meant to be more difficult even for the casual player, or is it just the nature of the speedrun that makes it more difficult?
Yes.
It was intended to be more difficult, yes.
It was
The
really
enemies,
intended to be, okay.
Yeah, the enemies give less experience, they have more health, generally just harder to deal with because they have better AI, I think. I'm not sure why they would, though.
Yeah, I can actually, you can... Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, yeah.
No, that's fine.
Like basically what you can compare like difficulty of episode 2 on the HP bar of the enemies. Like the first area temple, if you compare it to 4, is relatively the same except for like one enemy which has like over 400 HP. And at this point, like in episode 1 in the forest section, like the highest enemy has like 200. Not even 200, I would say.
Yeah,
but,
the
like,
bears
then
have less than
after-
200.
Like after temple, like the difficulty ramps up immensely. Like you can basically just like they're basically like the weakest enemy has around 130 HP, while in the opposite like in episode 1, the cave section, like the weakest enemy has only 50 or 60. So yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's
It's a big
just significant difference. Yeah.
Okay. But do the same categories basically exist for episode 1 and episode 2? Actually, why don't you tell me about the categories for this? I mean, we've talked about any percent a little bit.
Oh,
What do we have?
so yeah, the mod there's like any percent, which is basically like going like to the end of the game as fast as possible. Then there's any percent glitchless, which basically like is banning those two broken glitches like the method duping and weapon stacking.
Oh, just those two? Those are the only ones you need to ban to make the glitchless category?
Yes, there's actually another glitch which is kind of useful only in episode 1 apparently. Like there's actually a glitch in caves. Like there's certain monsters which are called slimes. And
Oh yeah, the slime glitch.
Yeah, you can basically instant kill the slimes by placing a trap at the spawn location of this monster, and then just shoot down the trap and kill it instantly.
Or let it explode.
Yeah.
As long as it explodes on the slime's location, for whatever reason, it just instantly kills him. You may have seen me do that in this run in Caves 2. I put down a trap seemingly randomly in the middle of a room, and then run away from it and kill another slime. The reason I do that is because most rooms in a run have 2 slimes, and so if you have 2 traps, you can just put them on the spawn locations. So I put one on the unspawned slime location, then run to the one that's already moving around, put a trap down there, shoot it, and then run towards the door, let the other slime blow up from the trap. Yeah, you can still, with traps, you can actually use any trap to do this, except it'll just do the kind of status ailment it is. Freeze traps will freeze the creatures, confuse traps will confuse them, damage traps just happen to kill them instead of damaging them.
Okay.
It's probably like my explanation of it because at the spawn location there's like an invisible hitbox, and like it only checks if the slime has HP or not, and it's basically if it doesn't have a HP, like the small hitbox at this point reaches 0 and it dies. So it's basically like a damage check. But yeah, nobody actually found out what the actual explanation is of at this point, but that's probably a possible.
And it just works on that one kind of enemy?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's weird.
And the thing is, it actually was like discovered really early in the game, and it like even in the earliest versions of the game, and it never got fixed. Not even at this point. Like, yeah, it's pretty silly.
Yeah, I don't think they bothered fixing it because it really didn't destroy the game in any way, shape, or form. It just made certain enemy easier.
Yeah.
I see. So some of these glitches did get fixed, right? What did the different versions change as far as the speedrun would be concerned?
From version 1 to version 2 of the Dreamcast version, they fixed the walk-through wall glitch. Or, kick-through-door glitch, as they call it.
Sorry. From version 1 to version 2, which is basically like the same console version, I would say, but it's like a different batch of it. Like the first release was version 1, and then they realized, oh, okay, there's a pretty game-breaking glitch by walking through those doors. Yeah.
So you have to look at the serial number on your case or something like that? I mean, there's some way to tell?
Actually, on the version differences, the disc for version 2, the case will say Phantasy Star Online version 2.
Oh, it actually says it. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. But you guys are running on the original version, though, right?
No, the GameCube version.
GameCube version. It's the fastest one.
There's a big reason for that, actually. The Dreamcast versions of the game, the way the game works is you travel to the ruins to find that the doors are locked, and then you find that the towers or monuments that you've found throughout these stages have to be pressed in order to open the door. In the GameCube version, they're just open.
Huh.
Or you can touch them, and your character just knows to touch them and open the door. Yeah. So that makes it a lot faster. And then there's also loading time difference. And then there's also the GameCube version has stat differences compared to the Dreamcast. Like we use raw cast in this run, or this type of run. And in the GameCube version, has a high enough stats to equip a handgun and a saber at level 1. Most importantly, the saber. In the Dreamcast version, he is 2 attack power away from equipping a saber, which makes it so you have to actually wait around to feed your little creature the mag to give you enough damage or enough power to equip the saber.
Yeah, and that's
see.
basically what the big difference is between version 2 and version 3. So probably the stats changes, I would say, and the way it actually plays I don't know if you actually mentioned it. So in the Dreamcast version you have to go through forest and caves and mines, and after the mines you would actually be blocked at this point, and then it says oh, you have to backtrack a little bit. You have to go to activate those monuments, which you probably have seen before. And for some reason, in the Dreamcast version, you cannot activate it until you defeated the boss of the mine section.
Yeah, and then after that, the hardest part about backtracking is it's just tedious because they close and reset each section. So you beat the mines boss, and then you read the thing that says you have to touch these things to open this door, maybe, possibly. And it's all right, let's just go to each area where I think they know they are. And it's nope, locked off from that area. You actually have to physically go through to the points again, clearing all the enemies that have been reset. Which is just really annoying.
Wow. Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
That's a bit excessive.
Yeah.
Okay, but so you actually run with the latest version of the game then?
No.
Oh no.
No.
Wait,
Okay.
so help me out here then.
Yeah. Okay.
The versions.
The
Frozen,
version 3 is basically okay. Version 1 and 2 is Dreamcast only.
Okay.
Probably there's actually a PC version of the Dreamcast version, which is complicated, but I'm not gonna explain.
A PC version as well. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's version 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Still version 2. Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's version 3, which is GameCube and the Xbox version of this game. And then at last there's version 4, or also known as Phantasy Star Online Blue Burst. Version 4 actually fixed a lot of glitches. Of course, the two most important ones, and probably certain weapons, I would say. I cannot recall that, but anyways, but the big difference is in version 4 there's actually another episode, and it's called episode 4. Now you're probably thinking, okay, where is episode 3? Episode 3 is just a separate game. It's basically a card game at this point. So.
It's actually if you want to follow the lore of the games, it's episode 1, episode 2, episode 4, episode 3. Which, episode 4 is when they're finding that there's a thing called photon crystals, which are a pure enough form of photon, which allows them to compact the weapons even further from their box form to cards. But it also makes them really fragile, which explains how the card game works, where each card has a certain health, and dealing damage to that card breaks the card. But that's for another episode, maybe.
Yeah,
right.
We both are trying to look into this game, but I don't have the game at the moment, and I don't know what about you. How about you, Carl?
I have the game. I just haven't put any effort into doing it. The game itself for a speedrun is very straightforward. Just choose the story-based missions and beat the mission and go. Yeah. And because everything's on cards, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't need to get the most powerful cards in order to beat the game the fastest. Just use what you got. Just be smart about it. In fact, some of the more powerful cards in episode 3 are somewhat useless because of how the game works. You have a limited number of items that you can use based on how many slots or star points, dice points, whatever they call it in the game. And if you use all those dice points, you can't equip more. So having more stuff equipped is generally better because you give yourself more defense, at least for how the hero side works. There's two stories to the game, the dark side and the hero side. Dark side summons monsters, hero side uses weapons.
All right. So so you have some choices to make then in your speedrun route. I mean, actually, we should start by talking about what classes you're using and why for these categories. So you said any percent is no longer necessarily broken down by class. You just pick whatever is going to get you through the game fastest.
No, there's well, it kind of depends on you can basically do it with any class at this point, like with any percent, of course.
Yeah, any percent, but the generally the class that we end up using for an any percent, for glitchless, it's most likely going to be a hunter because of their very high damage output beginning early of the game, and their high survivability with a larger health pool.
Okay.
Yeah, and like but like there's actually a possibility with force. That's what I mentioned earlier, but this is only possible on segmented, except if there is actually a method found to actually manipulate drops. But if this is gonna happen, the game is probably gonna die in like one day if there's actually a method to manipulate drops.
Yeah, if we can find a way to manipulate drops, we can find a way to manipulate maps, which makes the any percent glitch categories faster too. At least I imagine so.
Yeah. And like for all missions, like still the fastest class is a hunter, but the problem like the thing we didn't actually figure out is how are like the forces, like the mages at this point. Actually, like nobody actually wants to try that at this point. Like, okay, there's probably one or two guys, but the thing is, it's a really long run. It's around like 6.5 hours. Like the record of all missions is at 6 hours and 12
minutes flat by me.
All missions. Okay, and that would be different than 100%. How?
100% requires you to go through all difficulties, both episodes, and then throughout the episode 1 missions, collect the side quest missions in each difficulty. Which the side quest missions are Soul Eater, a giant scythe that has a partisan moveset, and then a Akiko's frying pan, which gives you a katana moveset.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and
that's a lot of game.
Yeah. It's for a glitched 100% run. It's estimated about 30 plus hours, just because of how many times you have to complete the missions.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Done.
that's just that. But it gets
hours glitched.
Yeah.
All right. But
and
all
it
missions.
gets harder from that.
Oh god, what a non-glitch run be?
Yeah, really. I can't imagine a non-glitch on 100
At MAK, I think he was estimating somewhere around 50 to 80 hours.
Balls of that.
But the problem we run into is our level. We get too low to... We're so low of a level, we don't have enough health to survive most of the attacks from the bosses.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that's already 279 hours, like, longer than my tolerance for playing a video game seriously and remembering all the tricks and everything you gotta do.
Yeah, but from the very hard difficulty to the ultimate difficulty, enemies just wreck you. They just increase speed, their damage gets higher, they have higher resistances, like it just gets really hard. And anyone that's not prepared for it, or they just get wrecked. Like I did when I first began playing, I get to ultimate and just bam, dead.
So do you carry over? Does your character's stats carry over from the different difficulties?
Yeah, your character is just a carryover from each difficulty.
Yeah, it has the same stats, it has everything. It's totally
your items, your weapons, your stats. Everything.
I see. So the problem is just that because you've done so much speedrunning stuff that by the time you finish the game once, like you move up to the next difficulty level, but you just aren't aren't as powerful as they would expect you to be. So by the time you get up to the end, it's like you're gonna get completely crushed.
Pretty much.
Like the biggest difference is between very hard and ultimate. Like the other three difficulties, like from normal to hard to very hard, is not as big.
Yeah, it's actually pretty easy to adapt from those difficulties. The enemies get a little faster and they just get more health. That's pretty much it.
I see. It's just the big jump is that last one.
Yeah, because the enemy's behaviors, they get a very high increase in speed. They do a lot more damage, and even the bosses get reworked.
Yeah, or even certain enemies get reworked. Like for example.
The enemies also get reworked too. One example I can think of is in the caves. You have poison lilies in normal through very hard mode, and what they do is they shoot poison at you. Big whoop! You can cure that. You get to ultimate, they shoot death at you.
Huh.
That's slightly worse than poison.
Right.
Yes. If you get hit by their ball and you don't have any dark resistance, it's a pretty good chance to be one-shot because it's a one-shot attack.
Yep.
It's really rude.
Yes. I believe it's even worse in episode 2. I've never played episode 2 Ultimate, so LeFrozer can elaborate on that.
Yeah, like the first two areas are actually okay at this point. like so a temple and spaceship were like basically like the same as always, like except like monsters are buffed and like still they deal a lot more damage than the episode 1 counterparts. But like the biggest difference is at central control area, and they're like monkeys, like two different ones. The first one shoots like the one-hit KO attack, which actually does nothing for some reason. It's actually this version of the monster is actually weaker than on normal, hard, and very hard, for whatever reason. But then there are other monkeys which are normally weaker in the easier difficulties, but then they shoot lightning and they will shock you, and when you're shocked you cannot attack. So you're basically like helpless when there are like 3 or 4 of them at the same time. But other than that, like it's basically the same.
Didn't you also say that the shock from the monkeys have infinite range, or the lightning?
Oh yeah, like the attack range of those monkeys are like insane. Yeah. That's
All right. So it sounds like, well, let's jump back to categories again here. So it sounds like for someone who's looking for something a little more complete than any percent, all missions is the more reasonable thing to shoot for, right? So what is?
Yeah, that's
what's
the
the
easiest.
definition of that?
All missions is completing all the all the missions, the optional missions that you can do. There's a mission counter in the game, and accept missions and complete them.
Oh, I see. It's got a game tracked counter.
Yeah,
there,
it's the missions actually have like a story element to them. So if you complete all the missions, you can follow the story if you want.
right? I see.
Yeah.
Do you
but
get any
there's
different ending if you do that? Is there any difference?
The credits, after you do all the missions and you beat the game, you get the ultimate mode credits, or you get a different credits. Instead of following your character, it follows the character Red Ring Rico, who is the daughter of the guy who sends you to go hunt everything and search for his daughter and save the planet. Or rather, explore the planet to find out what happened to the people of the planet.
I see.
Mhm.
So that actually is the thing that the developers had meant for you to do. There's sort of like a better ending run that you're doing when you're doing all missions.
Yeah, kind of. The end result is still the same. You find that the daughter was pretty much killed or absorbed by the dark entity known as Dark Falls in this game. And then you kill it, which sets her spirit free. And you're a hero.
All right.
Yeah.
What kind of times are we looking at for all missions then?
As we said before, the all missions, the best time, the record that I hold is 6 hours, 12 minutes.
Okay, so definitely significantly longer than any percent. And that's with glitches, right?
Oh, no, that's glitchless. The
That's
reason we
glitchless.
do
Oh, okay.
all missions is done normally glitchless because of how the glitches work in the game. For weapon stacking, anytime you save and quit the game or your character is reloaded, it will unstack the weapons on you, which is very problematic for doing missions. So it's
Oh.
generally just done glitchless. I have a route for a glitched all missions run, but the problem with that is the ending would be far different compared to a normal run of all missions. It would end upon completing the last mission instead of getting to the credits.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
that does seem a little weird, I suppose.
Yeah, it just... I want to talk with everyone in the community about that because that'd be the only one that doesn't end at the credits. Which would be
Yeah,
really
generally you
awkward.
want your route to end at ending the game, at beating the game, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for me. This like the same. Like you, if you like compare it like to other all missions games such as like GTA or like GTA or something like that. Like it's basically, I don't know how GTA like the ending is actually. Probably like you just finish all the quests and probably like finish the final quest and then it's done. But the problem is, in Assault, you actually just finished like a difficulty by defeating the final boss. So basically, like the final task is kill the final boss and you're done with that. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
The missions
that's-
are completely optional.
yeah, that's like my assumption of why it's actually timed after you killed the final boss.
I see.
That and the in-game timer for the character ends upon entering the teleporter of the final boss, so...
Yeah.
So I'd like to keep the time of a run as close to the character time as possible. Even though the character's in-game time doesn't go into seconds, it's still pretty precise, although the problem with that is it truncates the time. So my 48-minute run on a character timer, it would show just 48 minutes. It wouldn't go into the seconds. And so the fact that
see.
my time is
Yeah,
a
1 second below.
48:59, yeah, it just makes
Yeah.
it a 48.
Well, I mean, that's true with a lot of games that have in-game timers with no seconds, you know.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
It says 48, but you don't know where in the 48 it is. Okay, well, that's... All right, well, that answers that question. Should we... Are there more categories?
Yeah, like there's
yes.
one particular like fun category I would say, and it's basically called all difficulties. We're just basically like using the glitch 4 times and running from each difficulty into another, and you can basically do it in less than 6 hours, probably even less than 5 hours if we actually care about it.
Yeah, I think I also held the record for that. I'm pretty sure my time is either under 5 hours or close to. I don't remember what my time is because the last time I did that, I didn't have a pleasant time in Ultimate. Getting to the final difficulty. From the way in all difficulties, the hardest part is because you're such a low level, and again, you have no health, so anything that hits you kills you. But you have enough damage to counteract that.
Like you can basically 2 or 3 hit everything at this point.
My biggest problem with the category would be the second and last boss, so Falls and Darolai, which is the ultimate version of Darolai, the giant worm. The problem with him is instead of following his normal pattern of swimming next to you, shooting things on the boat, and then shooting lasers at you, in the ultimate version, as soon as the cutscene's over, he shoots lasers at you, and if you don't have high enough health, you'll die instantly. If you're not standing in the right spot, you'll die instantly. If you don't have escape doll, you don't get another chance. So you enter the fight, you get hit, you die. And that was my biggest problem, is trying to find the sweet spot where the lasers don't hit you, because the lasers that are actually shot by the boss are set locations. And you have to do so, you have like a half a second before the cutscene begins, or close to a second, and then you have like 1 or 2 seconds before he actually shoots the laser after the cutscene of his arrival. And I think I spent like 45 minutes, close to 40 minutes-ish, on my run against him. It was just a pain. I would question that. I would argue that he's one of the hardest bosses in Ultimate, just because of how fast he is, and you never actually get a chance to hit him while he's on the boat, or you don't get many chances.
Yeah, like there's actually also like an all difficulties run for episode 2, but I did only like 2 runs, and my run was like 6 hours and 32 minutes. I would actually say like the only hard part is like certain maps have certain enemies in it, and they have like a certain combination of skills, and like there's one particular room which has 3 of those plants which can insta-kill you, and not like 2 enemies which shoot at you with their fists like rapidly, and it's basically impossible to clear this room like consistently. Like it's even really hard if you're high level, if you're on a higher level. But like the bosses are like actually the easiest part. You still kill them relatively fast, and if you know what you're doing, they can actually do anything to you. Like it's like basically the same for every boss in this game, if you're using glitches, of course. So yeah.
Has this route really evolved a lot recently? I mean, I know that this game is, I've seen it played a bit more in the past year than I had at all before that. But I mean, has it been, would you say that it's undergoing a lot of changes, or is it pretty much settled onto something, or like where are you guys at as a community?
Well, there was, for right now, the route is pretty much set. Just get the maps memorized, do good with the stacking and duplication of Meseta, and go. There was potential for a glitch for a wrong warp to be found. I'm not sure if we're still working on that. I don't think anyone has really put more effort into that, because when we tried, it seemed to be emulator or TAS only for whatever reason. Like whenever I tried to replicate the glitch on console, my console would just crash. It would just crash the game. And I'd have to hard reset, turn off and turn the console back on. But whenever it's on emulator, you were able to basically what the potential for this glitch was accepting a quest at the same time teleporting to an area that's already unlocked. So, like accepting a quest in the forest and then teleporting to the ruins, or accepting a ruins quest and teleporting to the forest through the teleporter, or taking a telepipe back to a location. And basically, what we found was, in one case, it would load some of the NPCs that were on the Pioneer 2 ship into the map where you were, because it had tried to load both things at once, the quest and the mission and the map. The way for offline mode, the way it works is it loads one first and then the other. If you do it perfectly, it's a one-frame trick. And whenever I happen to get it, it just crashed the game.
Interesting. So you're getting different behavior on the emulator. Who's working on testing it, or who has been playing this on emulator that found this stuff?
Well, the stuff was found actually, I think, not offline, online on something by Michael Stenberg, I believe is his name. He showed us a video of him playing online and then doing the exact same thing with the results that we see in the tasks offline.
Okay.
The difference though is how online works. Online, every time you close a menu, the game saves your character data. So it would allow you to close a menu, the game saves, and then there's just interacted with your menus and maps differently. For offline though, it doesn't save, so you don't have that that potential for the warp. And so it would just, I think, if you use the telepipe and you tried to load a mission at the same time, you would load the map and then you would load the mission and you'd be still teleporting to the map. Or I think I have that reversed. It would load the mission and then the map. Yeah, that seems right. It would go through the loading the mission animation and then it would immediately switch to the loading the map animation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, but whenever I tried that, once again, I got the console to crash, so...
Huh. Well, that wouldn't be the first time I've seen something that works on emulator crash a console in practice. But
yeah. I know it's not the first time. It's just still
it's unfortunate.
It just made me a little sad about it because it had a lot of potential.
Yep.
I'm sure it still does. Maybe we'll find something to do with it, but it'd still be one frame trick.
All right. Is there any other things, or any other things like that, or things that you'd like to incorporate in the route that aren't in it yet?
Well, just talk. I'm gonna add something about it later.
All right. Well, for me, I think the route that I currently use is pretty much the best route at this moment until we find something else to do. It just involves a lot more just memorizing the maps, which actually that's not completely necessary. There's actually a tool made by Jayu, someone else that runs this game. He took took time to make a guide, or rather just a list of maps of how it does by request, and I helped him make that. And so he just has this file of maps that are just sit next to each other, so he can look at maps when he's doing runs, so he doesn't get lost during the map.
That's handy.
Yeah, the problem though with that is once you get to like mines and ruins, the maps are basically sets of two. You have one map that looks exactly like the other map, except they're just reverses of each other. And if you just happen to be looking at the wrong map, you're going to get backwards and messed up. I know this was the case in the most recent race for episode 1 we had. It was myself, LeFrozer, Jayu, Adam AK, and MT Numbers. And Adam was looking at the wrong map, running through Ruins 2. No, Ruins 1. He was looking at the wrong map, running through Ruins 1. He was looking at the reverse map of a map he had, so that can be a little tricky. Yeah, I know I run the game enough to know what map I'm on when I go into it, but I have a weird way of remembering the maps. I remember the first room of the map, and then just kind of connect the dots after that. I'm not sure how LeFrozer does it, but LeFrozer actually has the maps for episode 1 and episode 2 memorized, so that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like episode 2, like there's actually like a thing that I changed a lot, and that's like the third area of episode 2, which is called central control area. Like it has it has a subsection of 3 different areas. There's like jungle, mountain, and seaside, and you can basically pick whatever you like to do first. Like at first, like I was thinking, okay, I'm doing like the easiest first and then the hardest last, But then I realized, certain areas drop certain weapons, and I also need like a certain level to equip certain weapons. So I had to adjust it a little bit, and adjusted it like 5 or 6 times until like I made a final route. And yeah, that's like the only route change I actually like the only route you can actually change a little bit. But yeah, that's the only thing that you can actually do, at least for 90%.
See.
I think like for all missions, like there's much bigger development at
Oh yeah,
this
for all
point.
missions, the route, the order in which you do the missions is completely up to how you want to do it. The way I do it is I do the easiest ones first, or the ones that have an escort with them, or at least I try to. I try to do the escort quests first, and then I go to do the single ones later, because I get the extra experience from having the escort help me kill things. And then at a higher level, I'm able to just wreck or go through other areas easier with having more health, more survivability, and hopefully better weapons. I know for one of
That
the
makes
biggest,
sense.
yeah, one of the biggest things for all missions though is hitting level 11 as soon as possible. And the reason for that is because at level 11, the shops actually upgrade their weapons in their inventories. So it goes from like a saber to the second level saber, which is a brand. And you also have a chance to find a partisan and an autogun. Partisan is one of the easiest AoE melee weapons to use compared to a sword. Sword, while it has more damage, has less attack accuracy, and it has a more difficult combo to master. You can hit 2 hits with a sword and safely get away. If you try to do the third hit, your character steps towards the enemy, allowing them to get a hit back on you, which I don't care for that much. A partisan allows you to do a full 3-swing combo with more attack accuracy but less damage than a sword. So getting that in an all mission run for glitchless would be nice. Oh, for any percent also, I use a Hugh Cast, which is a hunter robot, just because he has the highest damage output. But he has very low attack accuracy, so it makes it difficult to actually try and do things. And I focus mainly getting my attack accuracy up as high as possible, as quickly as possible, by feeding the mag.
I see.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about the mag yet. In a run, for an any percent glitched run, a mag is important only for equipping a shot at level 13 when we hit the ruins. In episode 1, when we hit the ruins, we immediately start checking weapons from certain enemies to find a weapon called a shot, which, yeah, it just wrecks the game. You get 5 targets in just a large, I think, almost 180-degree radius in front of you to hit things with a range about the range of a handgun.
I see. That's a heck of a random drop then.
Yep. Technically, when I run any percent glitchless or glitched, I use the. Oh, another thing we didn't talk about yet: color ID. Choosing the name in this game is very important.
Okay, how so?
Every name there's a algorithm or a way to change to. Every name gives you a different color ID. Color IDs have different drop rates based on what color you are. So the color I used in a run is a bluefull. Statistically speaking, it would be much better for me to use the color Viridia because it has, statistically speaking, the highest chance to find a shot to drop.
Okay, and is that the most important drop to get then, I suppose?
For a good run, yes. At this point, if I don't get a shot, if I have like all the same maps that I have in my PB, and I don't find a shot, I will not PB. A shot saves like 20 to maybe 20 to 40 seconds, depending on the map that you're on, just because of its ability to do AoE attacks.
Right. Okay. So that's definitely your biggest concern as far as drops go, is getting that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know in episode 2 it's not as important because the earliest you can find a shot is at level 10, which you can't really use it until you have a certain attack accuracy base stat. And the way base stats, you can increase your base stats by finding materials and increasing your mag's level. Feeding a mag, like healing items, will increase its level, and we want attack accuracy just for the little boost to get to have a high enough attack accuracy to equip the shot. And so if you get, for the way stats work with a mag is every 2 dexterity on a mag, you get 1 attack accuracy. And for episode 2, at level 10, your mag can have, I think, about 2-3 dexterity, so not quite enough to allow you to equip a mag. Of course, you also have to be level 11 with 4 dexterity to have enough for a shot.
Yeah, level 11 is the earliest point with like a level 10 mag, like which has 4 dexterity in it, to actually equip a shot. I tried it like with like doing it on 5 dexterity, but it didn't make any difference, to be honest. So yeah, that's like the only case. For episode 2, it's like for episode 1, it's actually like much simpler. Like you're much higher level, so you can equip it much earlier.
Yeah, for episode 1, you enter ruins at either a very low or very close to level 13 or at level 13. At level 13, you need 1 attack accuracy, so 2 dexterity on a mag, easy peasy. Mm-hmm. It's you feed the mag 2 times. And I noticed someone in chat actually just said there are armors and units that can raise stats. Yes, in this game you get an armor and a shield, and the armor can have slots, up to 4 slots, and you can use units to equip in those armors. For an any percent glitch speedrun, we don't even bother with that, because by the time we find an armor with a unit, we can find one early in the game, but we can't buy units until later in the game, and they're not. You have to have amazing luck to find a unit that you actually want to use, like an attack accuracy unit. It is not a very common drop. So for a glitched run, we just ignore armors whatsoever and just prioritize not taking damage in the first place.
Makes sense. It's a good aim. All right. Well, let's move on to learning about the game, how to learn the game. What do you recommend to someone who's starting out in this?
Play it a little casual, have fun with it.
Yeah, like that's what I actually also recommend. Just be a casual at first. Like most people that are actually speedrunning this game at this point, like have a really good knowledge about this game. Like they know when to attack at which time. They know how the game actually works. Like also like the different weapons and.
Yeah, they also know how to combo. The combos, you can do with most weapons, well, pretty much all weapons with a select few, you can do a 3-hit combo, which you have to time the attack to do. And then there's like 3 separate attacks, 3 different type of attacks you can do. A normal attack, a heavy attack, and a special attack. Mm-hmm. A normal attack is just the highest attack accuracy attack, but also potentially the lowest damage depending on what kind of weapon you're using. And then a heavy attack is just a strong attack that deals, double your damage? 1.5, double, close to that somewhat, but it has reduced attack accuracy. So leading with it is risky at best if you don't have enough attack accuracy.
Mm-hmm. I see. So that's why you just need the experience of playing it casually, so you understand how to chain your attacks and
chain your attacks, know when to attack, know what to do in certain situations, and then also learning the maps. For a speedrun, at the point that I'm at, that's the most important thing, is just knowing the maps.
Right.
Yeah,
and then having the patience to reset until you get good ones.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, also like use every resource you can actually get. It's like especially like for casual playthroughs or like speedrunning, it doesn't matter. Like certain things are like really good to know. For example, like mag feeding and something like how to combo, like which weapons has which range and like what damage does it actually do, and like you should really use your resources of this game. Like if you need maps by learning this game, just do it. Like
right, you're saying definitely treat it like an RPG, and that if there's resources that tell you about the equipment and the maps and all that, you should have those things available to you. Where would you suggest? I think you had a couple things linked in the docs.
Oh yeah, well for the maps, as I said before, me and Jayu, another runner of this game, we put together a map guide to help other people that want to, and that's linked that I put in the document.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and link that in the chat too, if you don't mind,
right.
Just so people know where to go to find these things. But that's at that's speedrun.com/pso/guides. Is that the one you're talking about?
The guides has a map guide, a file that has all the maps set next to each other, so you can easily just figure out what map you're on. when you start running. And then the other thing in the guide section is the actual setup for the setup for the game, the glitches. And I have my setup file, my setup video in there, and then Jayo has also done one for himself, except it's in French.
Huh.
Yeah, so there's an English and a French version of the setup guide.
Mais ce n'est pas difficile pour moi. Sorry about my French.
This guy lied. He's actually French.
No,
He is French.
I've been duped.
I knew it.
No, I'm actually from Switzerland, so like basically learning German and French is basically a must.
Understandable.
Okay.
So what would be the third tip that you guys have there?
Yeah, let's hit number 3 here.
Okay.
One of
I'm
you?
just going by the 3 easy steps that you've.
Yep.
Well, I
figured out ahead of
didn't.
time.
Oh,
You didn't
for the
actually read-
steps, I didn't put the third one down. I don't know who put the third one down.
Yeah, like probably like most of the people think, okay, this game is actually really expensive. Like the GameCube version is probably around like $50 upwards, and Xbox version is much cheaper, but you need like a gamer tag on it. Dreamcast like version 1 and version 2 are like really slow, and like version 4, which is like Blue Burst, does have like the glitches fixed, so like only the glitchless is available at this point.
Yeah.
I see. So if you're going to play with glitches, then you would recommend probably the version 3 then, right? The
Yeah.
GameCube Xbox
That's-
version 3.
That's the one that works the best
Right on.
for a run, anyways.
I see.
Well, nifty.
Well,
There
and
has
the-
actually been some controversy between version differences for the GameCube version. There's PSO and then PSO Plus, just an updated version for the GameCube. I'm not sure how we're actually dealing with this, but there has been a run of it, a run on PSO Plus, glitchless. And we at first watched the video and we thought that he had modified the game in some way, shape, or form. But then later found out that it was actually the game's the update of the game itself that made enemies move faster, spawn faster, allowing you to deal with them quicker, and then just some other minor tweaks and stuff to it. And I think originally we have decided that PSO Plus and PSO Original for GameCube are separate categories for their games, but I'm not sure how we're going to be dealing with that in the near future. Like the any percent glitchless would still be the same. Of course, the benefit would be on the PSO Plus version because of the faster enemy spawns and faster how it works. But then all missions would be changed up as well a little bit because they have more missions in that game, I believe.
Yeah. When it's that difficult to come up with the timing offset between one version and another, it's usually time to make them separate categories. That's
Yeah.
just my personal opinion. When it's not a real straightforward comparison.
Yeah, but the hard part about that is because the ending percent for glitchless is so close to each other, we weren't sure whether to decide to make it its own category or just let that version be included in the any percent glitchless, while every other category is just a separate category for that game. Yeah, I'm not sure what's the deciding on that.
All right. Next time you have your big PSO community meetup, you can hammer that out.
Yes, we've tried multiple times. It's just tough to get everyone together because of the time zone differences.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that sounds
cool.
pretty straightforward. I think those 3 easy steps are all 3 of them pretty easy. Makes sense.
What?
So is there anything else that you want to say about Phantasy Star Online before we move on to our records?
Great game, 10 out of 10. Would totally play again.
Totally speed run it over and over.
A+++.
No.
Yes. If anyone actually does want to play this game again and doesn't want to pay for it, there are private servers, and I'm sure that many people in the community actually go to play on some of these private servers. Some people may know ShitHack, which is a private server that has keeps the game close to how it used to be on Blueburst. but there's another one that I play on personally, Rev PSO, which it takes a lot of the difficulty of grinding the game out because it has increased multiplayer to experience grinding, ×5 multiplayer to experience until I think level 120. And then there's also a little bug in the code which causes rare enemies to spawn more frequently. And if people want to come play that and just like farming rare items, go to that server before they fix the bug. Because I know one weapon that's really hard to get to drop, a Psycho Wand. It's a good force weapon. Me, Frozer, and a few others managed to get like 2 of them within minutes because of how fast the enemies spawn, the rare enemies, how often they are.
Yeah.
Ja, stimmt.
I
Yeah.
see. It's too bad you can't speedrun on that version.
Yeah. But you can play the single player. One thing I didn't mention about the maps is how the single player and the multiplayer work. A multiplayer has all the maps included. For single player, for the caves and forests, they reduce the maps in half, pretty much. Also, the multiplayer maps have increased enemy spawns and, more enemies, pretty much the only difference. Oh, and the multiplayer maps require more than one person to open some doors because of how the buttons work. You need 2 people to stand on buttons until the door opens. Single player, they take that out by just locking the buttons when you push on them. So, just go have fun, go play casually, go grind a character to level 200 before dinner, I don't know. Go play it.
Come make your little brother grind experience for you.
Hey,
Yes.
get over there.
Yeah.
No dinner for you.
All right, cool.
Well, cool.
Well, thank
Good
you for telling us about Phantasy Star Online. I honestly say I know 1,000% more than I did before.
Ain't kidding.
Although there are still so many unanswered questions. Mostly, I'm just a little bit stunned by just the variety of what there is. I mean, in the game, there's all these different categories. The 100% category sounds really fascinating to me. I love this 30+ hours speedrun idea.
You would.
Yeah.
I did originally plan to do a glitch 100% run eventually for one of my follower specials, which ended up not happening because my computer crapped out on me, so I had to get a new one. And I'm still planning to do a follower special eventually, maybe, perhaps, someday.
Some week.
Well, we need to do that just to get a time, just to see what the time is.
Yeah. there you go.
Yeah, probably.
Cool. All right.
Awesome.
Well,
I'm going to hit a split with authority.
You should hit a split loud. There you go.
Boom.
Nice.
Crushed.
And I know that it's very late in France, so if you don't want to stick around, Frozer, you don't have to, but you're welcome to stick around for records if you like.
Damn it, Fiesel.
Yeah, this is not something I have to talk about, and it's probably on the next topic.
There sure
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're I think the first one, and you're at the top of the list.
My
Oh.
goodness.
Okay.
What a
Let me
coincidence.
just
Wow.
post this link to you guys so you can follow along here. I posted it in the wrong place. There we go. All right, so there we go. We got records. So we're gonna read through these, and guess who is the first one on this list here? The first game that we got is Advance Wars Dual Strike by our own LeFrozer.
Oh, hey, so you did finally get a run without the game crashing.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, like, this is not on an official console. This is on an emulator. For reference, it's the $No GBA emulator, 2.7a. The reason why I'm using emulator at this point is I cannot record runs of this game, sadly.
It is a
probably
DS
gonna do it
game.
yeah, we'll do it in the future. And you will probably see, like, right now, it has some it has some weird visual glitches, and it's only because of the emulator. Like, my first one was like around 6 hours, and I probably put a lot of work into it, and I'm still not satisfied with the time. I think like 3.5 hours is possible at this point, but yeah, we shall see how it goes. Also, this is just the any percent category, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna discuss about. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about. Like, only thing is, like, I had a lot of mission fails at this point. Like, I had to reset because, like, certain enemies didn't move at certain spots, and that's, like, the biggest issue I have, because I'm not using a route where you can like manipulate enemy movement at this point. So, we shall see like how the future goes.
I was gonna say, we'll be looking for improvements, basically.
Yeah. Well, congrats for 3 hours and 46 minutes for that, for a real-time strategy game. That's pretty good.
Absolutely. The highlight reel is just about to finish, so if you want to give it just a couple more seconds, and we can move on to...
It's a very creative highlight. I picked a minute and a half of some random part of the game when things were happening, so...
There we go.
With my infinite knowledge.
You should have picked like the second last mission of this game, which has like the funniest strategy ever. Like you can basically use it like one unit and finish this mission. Like the second last mission of the game is basically possible with one unit. This was probably like the highlight of this run, but yeah. That's it.
All right. Well, if you submit this again for further improvement, I will keep that in mind and see if I can show that.
Okay, I will do.
Well, congrats.
Thanks.
All right, moving along, we got Batman the video game for the Game Boy. This any percent run in 11 minutes flat by Walconut. His comments consist of various pictures and a playlist of all his IL times.
There we are.
But yeah, Batman the video game, this is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, this is regular black and white Game Boy. Yeah, this is a pretty neat game. I've actually played this, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It is. If you're expecting NES Batman, it is definitely not that. But
indeed. Well, we've got a sweet little picture of an arcade machine right there.
Yeah, for an arcade game.
Yeah, for our very own
don't
PJ.
Have a lot of.
Sadly, he's not here, but...
Sadly, he's not here, but yes, this is...
Holy moly.
Battletoads Arcade, done on an actual arcade board using a super gun.
Yep. It's Pimple, max difficulty in a 1 credit clear in 4022. He says he got this the day after his first 1cc. There are a few minor mistakes here and there, and one major brain fart at stage 5 that cost him a life, but he had his fastest final stage ever and got the big black quick kill. He's super happy with the run. He'll be working on other Toads right now. Might return to Pimple when they're done. And he thanks us for the raid last week as well. This is... Okay, for those who don't know, 1cc on max difficulty in this game is bullshit. I remember several months ago, PJ said he would never bother doing max difficulty runs, and then, you know, PJ, give him a couple of weeks to try it and figure out some strats, and he's on that shit, like, you know. But
Do you actually get your health back between levels?
Nope.
I see.
No,
so
the only time you get health, as far as I know, is, or actually, maybe you get a little bit between levels, but there's flies that you can catch in between,
yeah,
like,
just eating the flies.
brawls.
That's not a lot.
But-
well, I guess there's a fair amount of them.
Yeah, it's-
compared to the NES version.
But yeah, the amount of damage that the enemies do on max difficulty is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, the
This
fucking
one
amazing
looks like
run.
Chaos. I love the smashing up the jet plane. Too.
Touchdown!
Oh my god! Nice.
But yeah,
Total chaos.
absolutely amazing game. Y'all should go watch PJ play this whenever he has a chance to do attempts. It's pretty fucking crazy.
All right.
Highlight will be done just shortly. Hang on one sec.
Oh.
About 15 more seconds.
Gosh, I hate to have to watch Battletoads for another 15 seconds.
I know. It's like the really good Battletoads game.
I love how large all the characters are too. It looks very arcadey. I mean, I know it's an arcade game, but this is everything that you like about arcade beat 'em ups. This seems to have.
Yeah, it's there. Definitely a really sick run. You guys should go watch that. You can find all
Lots of
those at
football helmet.
tssbreak.com/links. You can see links to all the runs. Yeah. All right.
This auto scroller at the end.
Yep. Good job, PJ.
Good job, PJ. Keep up the good work.
Whoa, team.
All right, we got a series of Broforce runs here. A gaggle of Broforce runs. All of them for the PC. All of them, nope, not all of them by Shadow Draft. We have any percent in 1215 by Shadow Draft. We have any percent arcade in 1108 by Shadow Draft. And we have low percent arcade in 1337. 1337.
Oh,
by
no.
Mirror's Mind.
Hey.
So the highlight you're seeing is for, let's see,
Any percent.
it's for the any percent, Shadow Draft's any percent run. His comment on that is finally a decent run for this category. 12:15 is the time without loads, since these will be removed in future runs. I had pretty decent RNG and not a single game over screen, plus a monster quick kill on the Jumping Jerk boss. Nice.
Jumping jerk sounds like the worst wake-up exercise in history.
The Jumping Jerk.
His comment for
Go
arcade
for
any
it.
percent is sub 13 RTA finally. I guess next is sub 12. And then
Right.
Mirror's Mind for arcade low says, so good job, Mirror's Mind.
Yeah.
Give us some comments next time.
He doesn't need comments. The run speaks for itself.
This
The
is true.
time for the run speaks for itself.
Exactly. 1337. How do you beat it? I'm gonna swap the page while the video is playing, and then when
He
we
probably
come back,
finished
it'll be
the
like
run
match.
a few seconds earlier, and he was just like, "Nope, let's wait." Okay.
Hey, wait a minute. Looks like we've got a duplicate any percent in there by accident. But
Duplicate any percent.
yeah, for some reason I see another. Ignore the first record on the page when the video stops.
Oh yeah, there was an older any percent run. That got
Yeah, it got obsoleted, but it just didn't get deleted from the doc. That's okay.
Yeah.
That one up there,
So
not legit.
congrats, Shadow Draft and Mirror's Mind.
Mm-hmm.
Broforce, game we know a little bit of something about now.
Yep.
Cool. Carl, you want to read off Castlevania 2 for us?
Sure, I guess I could.
Good.
Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest on the NES, any percent, in 3352. I don't see no
can't-
comments.
His comment is GG.
That's it.
Oh, right there, I missed that.
Yes, and that's K-Mac, by the way, who's I think he had a
run
CV2 run last week, right?
He sure did.
Yeah, he sure did, and so now he's improved that again. I don't know if who was it? Furious Paul, the other guy who's been working on Castlevania 2.
Yep.
I'm not sure if there's been any back and forth or if it's all just K-Mac running with it now. But
Not entirely sure either. Haven't kept up with that much, but
yeah, I didn't get to see much streaming this week.
yeah, that's another game where I'm pretty sure K-Mac was kind of like, nah, I'll never really pick up CV2. I'm not interested in it, and then here he is.
Probably just started out doing runs for fun, and then before long you get sucked in head first. Cool. All right. Well, we got this game called Chain Champ for the PC. Chain Champ. Beat the game is the category. I guess I could have written any percent for that, huh? 7 minutes and 10 seconds by Goost, who says, I've been doing a couple practice attempts after remembering this game from Mystery Tournament number 4. Decided to stream some more practice and PB attempts so other people could check it out as well, and managed to improve my time by over a minute compared to my previous PB. Getting really close to the ideal time for this run. Chain Champ. Yeah, that's one I hadn't seen before, but it looks
Yeah,
neat.
neither.
It's a game with the grappling hook. Oh, did the highlight already play?
It's going as we speak.
Oh, all right. I'm just way delayed for some reason.
No, that's right. Yeah, no, this looks actually pretty cool. I've never seen it before either.
It's got a grappling hook. I like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say kind of very Bionic Commando.
Looks like it's a combination platformer plus mouse clicking, which is an interesting platforming genre.
Oh, really
Yeah,
neat.
it does look neat,
It's kind of like Bionic Meat Boy or something like that.
right? Well, it's an indie PC game, so if you guys want to check this out, it probably does not cost very much.
Indeed.
Neat. Congrats, Goost.
Hey, this next one is something somebody suggested I run.
Conquest of the Crystal Palace. I do think of that when I see Demon Head. I do think of this because it seems like another talking time game.
I was starting to highlight for it. It is Weapon Orb Percent in 1846 by Gus Nation. It says, I enjoyed this game a lot and started running it just a few weeks ago. Watched a Taz video of a 17-minute time, which had a lot of frame power hits to kill bosses quickly, and using the jump orb. A power hit is when you slash, then at the end of the attack you press in the opposite direction and it does a stronger hit with a chime. I'm very satisfied with this time and how close I got to the Taz using a different orb. So cool.
Yeah, so weird.
There's a technique I didn't know about when I was messing around with it a little bit.
It's a game I rented, and I don't think I got very far in it. It looks pretty straightforward as far as platformers go, but
Yeah, it's it does have one slightly annoying mechanic from what I remember is if you slash while you're in the air, like on a jump, it'll immediately cancel your jump height, which
Oh, that's
could be
no good.
useful, but at the same time, when you forget about that and an enemy comes like right up at you in front of a pit, well,
right. Yeah, I imagine that the cases where it's annoying are more frequent than the useful case.
it seemed to be when I was messing around with it casually, but once you get used to the game, I'm sure it's kind of just another thing that oh, use that here, don't use that there. But yeah, really cool looking game.
Either of you guys, the guests, ever played this game?
Nope.
Nope.
The earliest console I ever had when I was a child was an N64.
Ah, there you go.
I see.
Yes, I lived on a farm, didn't have much time to play games, so getting an N64 was pretty awesome.
Oh, I can
Which
imagine.
then also meant that I didn't get a lot of time to play it anyways.
Fair enough. Well, cool. So that's Conquest of the Crystal Palace. Congrats to Gus Nation.
Cool. Either of you guys ever played Devil May Cry?
Not the original, but I played Devil May Cry 3.
That makes you more than qualified to read the next one on the
There you
list.
go.
Oh, joy.
Victory. Go for it, man.
Alright, Devil May Cry on the PlayStation 2. Any percent Dante Must Die difficulty in 10916 by Andy 92. I believe that's how
Very
you say
good.
his name.
It is now.
Alright. This game is hard enough on normal, and I'm running it on the hardest difficulty. Not only that, but I start with the hardest character, which is regular Dante, on a new game. And I also stay with default health, which means killing it. Everything kills me in 2 hits. The first 5 minutes of the game is extremely unforgiving, and as a result, my failure rate for the first 5 minutes is probably around 90 to 95%.
Wow, that sounds like fun.
Hey, I feel his pain, believe me.
Awesome. Though once I get through the first 20 minutes of the game, I can finish the rest of the game. Best part about the run is that Nilo Angelo 3 dies in 70 seconds, but that can be improved to sub-minute.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Good stuff. Excellent. All right. That highlight is in the bag.
Finished there. All right. Let me see. Oh, we got another PC indie game.
That we do. Oh,
The
this one
indie
is,
Metroidvania Eternal Daughter. This one pops up from time to time on this show. We get this sometimes. It looks very interesting. Any percent 2426 is the time by Azurinal, who says this was a pretty good run with most time lost from minor mistakes and poor RNG on the underwater scroll skip. It's 4 minutes faster than my previous world record, which was mostly just thrown together, but it's almost 3 minutes slower than my segmented run. So I think I could get it down to 23 minutes in an RTA.
oh yeah, this is the one where you use like the equivalent of
Super
the
arrow.
the super arrow and well, so long walls.
Right, super arrow out of bounds.
Oh, this game is so broken. I
Yep.
thought it was. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we've had
remember
highlights of
when
this one several times, and it's pretty much you can't go wrong with highlighting sometime where you just kind of shoot an arrow at a wall, and next thing you know, you're in the wall, and oh,
Yeah.
There's a bunch
I
of games
remember-
that do that.
I remember playing this game when I was like 12 or 13 years old, and I didn't even like speak English at this point, and it was really hard to play through this game. Like I only came like to like the first 2 or 3 bosses, and then like I just quit because I couldn't understand anything.
Yeah, that's
Well,
tough when
kind
you're
of feels-
playing a game this kind and instructions tell you where to go next and you can't read it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like playing this game again. No, I'm not gonna do that.
No, you're gonna play Phantasy
It's
Star.
probably gonna end.
too late.
No. It's probably gonna end like Super Castlevania 4. Yeah, but cool game. I would say.
Yeah, I've actually been like interested in giving it a try just for laughs. Still haven't had a chance to, but very cool. Good job, Azernel.
All right. Oh man, next great game we have on this list. It's Higemaru Makaijima for the NES, or for the Famicom, I should say. Japanese. It's a Japanese release. Any percent run in 2720 by Author Blues. He says, Higemaru Makaijima has been compared to Legend of Zelda, but with pirates. That's fair, but I don't think it's completely accurate because Zelda never warped through walls and he carries a sword. This run beats the best time I know of by about 20 minutes by abusing a screen warping trick from the TAS. Turns out walking through all the walls is pretty fast. Who knew?
Jesus Christ.
Special thanks to Jeff Rose Sledger for recommending this game and helping me to figure out the glitch. I like how he says that he thinks that this is not like Zelda because Zelda never warped through walls.
Technically speaking,
The screens, but technically, yeah, Zelda didn't do anything except sit there and wait to be rescued. But even if you're talking about Link, if it's like this is screen wrapping off the edge of the screen and wrapping to the other side, that's definitely a Zelda technique.
true. That first screen wrap was pretty brutal, though.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me go through all this garbage data real fast.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at. Anyway, this looks like a perfectly respectable game if you watch all the parts where he's not screen wrapping, so the run isn't entirely this, but it's a lot of this.
I don't know. I think that is the thing that I've loved the most about getting into speedrunning is just, I've always liked breaking the shit out of games, getting out of bounds. Well, now it's productive. It's not just dicking around. Fantastic, Author Blues, good shit.
Wow. Well, that monkey.
Thing is gross.
Boss. Cool. Well, hopefully we'll see more of that game because I still don't know what I'm looking at.
No.
Maybe we'll have to have a game of the week on this game just so we can find out what's supposed to be happening and then what's actually happening.
So what? What? Just explain things, please.
Right. Cool. Okay, we got next game on the list here, Hydra Castle Labyrinth for the PC.
Hail Hydra!
Yes. 2521 is the time by Crank Dud. He says, I decided to pick this up again after not running it for 2 years. Decent execution, and there's definitely screw-ups, but I got the best luck I've ever had with the sub-weapon ammo drops, which allowed me to beat my PB by a minute and a half.
Wow.
So, congrats.
I never played that game before, but...
No, I think we've had a submission for this before, right? But I don't
yeah, I'm just saying I've never played it before. Just so I'm not entirely sure what it's about. But
Cool.
hey,
well, we've
next
got
up, yeah,
two
more Mirror's Mind submissions. A lot of repeat names again here. We've got Craven Manor PC any percent in 10 minutes 49 seconds, and Craven Manor PC 100% in 13:27. Like I said, both are by Mirror's Mind. Switch the page so you can see that second record. And he says, for both runs, actually, he says...
That's right.
So good job, Mirror's
letting
Mind.
the run speak for itself.
Again. You'll want to check that out in the links to find out exactly what all it's about. But
Favorite quote so far?
You can quote me on that. All right. So who wants to read off Little Samson? This is an awesome game that
it is.
it would be a privilege to read.
I believe it's Roser's turn. He has had less games to read so far.
It's true. Rosa?
Still alive, mate?
No, he's gone to bed. It's bedtime in France.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's true.
All French people are in bed.
Well, let me start the video. I can handle Little Samson, I think.
I
Love you guys.
Oh, wait.
Love you.
There you are.
He's alive.
Huzzah.
He was just emulating Mirror's Mind and its stunning commentary.
Right. He was reading the comment from the last run there.
Trying to catch up. Understandable.
No, actually, I was watching montage parodies.
Well, you have an
No,
excuse
just
at
kidding.
least.
Nah, just kidding. Like, I've been just listening.
Okay.
All right.
Would you like to read Little Samson then?
Yes.
What?
What? You don't have to do anything. This is no participation required. Don't worry.
I got it.
Nice. Okay.
All right, go for it.
Alrighty then. So we do have 3 Little Samson records, all by X-Dragon 95. The first one is NES, any percent easy in 1140.2. Compared to other runs he had this week, this one was okay. A decent death fight and good final stage is what ultimately got this time. Definitely gunning for 1130X before I put this category to rest. I think that was the year that Mega Man was born. Joke repeats. Yeah. Then we have all stages easy in 1916-27. Not a bad run per se, but it isn't certainly isn't good. At least somewhere around 1830 is possible. Hopefully sub 19 will happen soon. And the final one is all stages normal in 3605. This run is the definition of bad. Wow. Thank you for making me sound like a jerk when I read your comment. All right. I'm only submitting it so that if someone wants to take it before I get better at it, there's at least a time to shoot for. Anyway, all stages normal is a big challenge for me as I'm just starting to understand normal difficulty in the first place. I will improve this time, I swear. Can you believe I actually submitted this and got accepted for HDQ?
Wow.
Well,
this is slowest run by like twice the next one.
Yep.
Yeah. But still, yeah, all stages normal. This is a tricky game. This is a very difficult game. I played this a bit a year or two ago when we were looking at it for SGL, and it's this is a hard game. A lot of fun though. One of those like hidden gems. It's the kind of game that you might not have ever heard existed, but once you start watching speedrun streams, this tends to pop up because it is really cool. I like games where you can switch between characters during the gameplay, like during the action, switch back and forth at will. The mouse, of course, gets a lot of use because it has these Metroid bombs, basically.
Yep. Isn't the game like
and can climb on walls?
Somewhat prohibitively expensive as well, if I remember correctly?
I think it is. This is a very hard to come by game, so buy yourself a power pack. But yay, Little Samson! Congrats, X Dragon 95.
Indeed.
Looking forward to Little Samson at Marathon, which hasn't been yet, right?
I don't believe so. No, I'm not sure.
I don't think so. We got Bucky in a Marathon, but I think Little Samson is still not gotten there.
Got accepted for HDQ, so.
Yep. So just
get ready, get hyped, Little Samson. What?
Cool. All right, awesome game coming up next here. This is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King for the GameCube. This is any percent easy mode co-op run with Author Blues and Skybills. Doing this in 2 hours, 39 minutes, 17 seconds. The comments for this are, this game is a challenging adventure game that allows 2 players cooperative play. We failed a few of the missions and did a minor amount of experience farming in order to simplify the later missions, but in future attempts, we will be avoiding this. The run depends a bit on good old RNG. Oh no, a bit on good RNG, getting health drops from the enemies. Our goal is somewhere closer to 2 hours, although sub 2:15 would still be an impressive feat. We may also attempt hard difficulty as well.
Cool. Yeah, I'm watching the highlight here.
Whee.
Last time I tried to play this game with someone, my brother was like, nope.
And looking at this, like these camera angles, I'm wondering if is it done by fixed camera, or is it kind of like the annoying Fable 2 co-op tether type thing, or?
It's more or less a tether type thing, if I remember correctly.
Oh, so each player has their own screen?
It's all done on one screen. It's just they share the screen, and depending on how far you are, the screen warps or
kind of zooms out just to show both of you.
Oh, all right, I see.
Yeah.
So I mean, it does look a little bit more coherent than Fable's version, which was one player had the central camera and the other one just kind of ran around.
Yeah.
Like on both players' screens, played over like a network. So. Very good, Mr. Frodo. It's fantastic. Good stuff, Author Blues and Skybills. Coming up next, we do have Page Change. Bam, on top of that shit.
You do have
Look out. And we also have McDonald's Treasureland Adventure. Sorry.
Wow, we got plenty of good ones
We got
tonight.
typos.
Adventure!
Adventure. No. McDonald's Treasureland Adventure on the Genesis, any percent easy in 2243 by RMC, who says...
Exactly.
Wow, that's actually something I really like. That this comment is just...
It is deep.
Finally, a comment that really speaks to me.
So emotional.
Yep.
All right. Well, so congrats RMC for that great run, and Gilder for his excellent reading of the comments.
Yeah, here to help.
But Mischief Makers for the N64. You were telling me about your N64 being the first console you got. So guess what? You get to.
You just got roped into reading.
Yay! Mischief Makers on the N64, any percent, in 54:45 by Jackifer. I think I watched this one actually halfway through.
Hey, cool.
Nice. And the comment reads, I fucking did it!
Good job, Jackifer. Nailed it.
Excellent. And I also applaud any palindromic times they get
54,
special
45.
recognition on the show.
Indeed. Shake.
Cool. Pokemon Puzzle League is a game that had a speedrun that was done this week by Cards of the Heart.
I don't know if I buy that information, sir.
No, it's true.
Oh.
I'm about to hear it on TSSB. Pokemon Puzzle League.
The authoritative
S hard
source.
mode. Yes, the authoritative source. We haven't even gotten there yet. Okay, S hard mode. 1942 is the time, and this is for the N64. So the comment here is to quote one of my fellow Puzzle League runners. I was told about this run. You made a sub 20 run look sloppy. I didn't even know that was possible. Ridiculous as it may have been, to earn it was not. I want sub 18 before I drop this grind for good, but there's still a lot of grind left. I really should have picked up a different game as my first speed game.
Amen, brother. I feel you.
Yeah. Cards of the Heart's been he's been at this for a
good
while,
long while.
right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of submissions from him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, even though somebody says the run is sloppy, holy crap, man. Just watching people play these like Panel de Pon style games at a high level is absolutely mind-blowing at times. It's just like, how do you see that many moves ahead while you're still going as fast as freaking possible? So I used to be like moderately decent at Tetris Attack, but this is next level shit, basically.
Yep.
Wow. It is really crazy how fast these levels are.
Mm-hmm.
The levels are all like 20 seconds or less. It's kind of nuts.
It's just one of those things where I look at this and I'm like, wow, if this is sloppy, what the fuck was I doing back in the day? Let's see, going for the any percent joke category, it'll be Gildersneeze. Not bad, man. Not bad at all.
Awesome. Congrats, Cards with Heart.
Mm-hmm.
Keep working on that. I hope that you finally get that run that you want so you can move on to a less grindy game. But
Indeed.
I don't know. Okay. Highlights finish.
Yes, it is.
Cool. Next one we got here is Prince of Persia for the NES. Mike the Viewer has bested my 1904 run or something like that with an 1839.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, right. So yeah, he's 1839 is now the time to beat. I'm just judging by his splits and also from my splits, I'm pretty sure that a time close to 18 minutes is reasonable, because there definitely were still some mistakes in this run and whatnot. I think the sum of my best splits is in the low 18s somewhere, so I bet that somebody will be getting a better run of this soon. I imagine that it's now that I've got some competition and Mike the Viewer has some competition, depends on which perspective you're looking at this from. I think that this game is going to start to go down time-wise.
Right on.
Yep.
Well, let's not forget his comment, which is...
That's not his fault. I added this to the doc.
Oh, see.
He did not say anything.
Let's not forget Fiesel's comment.
Right.
Very insightful, Fiesel, as always.
Awesome. Well, congrats, Mike, for...
Oh my god, this next time is a crusher. An absolute devastation of a poor game that...
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
I have not had a chance to watch the entire run yet, but it's Secret of Mana on the SNES. Any percent, one player, two controllers in 1 hour, 58 minutes, 41 seconds by Stinger PA. This is the very first sub 2 run for this game, and at the very end, I got the one cycle Mana Beast for the first time ever in a run. Pretty incredible, and I'm finally happy about my PB for this game. Yeah, this run. I've only seen part of it so far, and good lord. Y'all need to watch this fucker.
The first sub 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
You need to watch this run. Sit down, clear out 2 hours.
Yep. He's got actually got a controller cam, so you can see this happening.
Yep. Hey, what happened to the window capture? You go back there and you watch the rest of this highlight, young window capture.
It's not even very much. He one cycles the mana beast. Oh, he says he got the one cycle mana beast for the first time ever in a run.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Stinger's in the chat. He just says we didn't think sub 2 was possible a year ago, so absolutely sick time. I need to watch the rest of this. I did not clear out 2 hours, unfortunately. I had to buzz off to work, but nonetheless, watch the run.
Wow. Dead air because I'm just mesmerized.
Yeah, exactly. I've just spoiled the ending for myself, but damn.
Look at the damage values he's getting.
Get wrecked, Mana Beast.
And there it is. Wow.
Indeed. Good stuff, Stinger.
Yeah.
Good
Congrats,
stuff.
Stinger.
Having never watched this game played before, I can only imagine that was impressive.
Yes.
Yes.
Very.
Yeah, that one cycle mana beast. If you've never played this, you should play this game. Secret of Mana. It's like
It's actually really, really good, yeah.
don't
I need to play a
any
lot
other
of games.
Super Nintendo games. All right, fine. But when you start in Super Nintendo games, that's got to be one of the first ones you do because.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
actually really good.
All right, good. It's a deal.
Sold. We have an
All right.
accord.
So next game we have is Shinobi, and yes, it's the NES version, the version that everyone is most familiar with. And any percent done in 10 minutes and 7 seconds by Infinite Mystery, who says, not much to say about this run, some bad boss fights and stages. Now I'm looking to get a solid run without the bonus stage because a tight pixel jump.
Probably because
more
of
Shinobi to
type-
come soon.
Not bad. Good stuff, Infinite Mystery. Glad you're keeping the real version of Shinobi alive.
Right, the real Shinobi.
Yeah. Not that Nancy arcade version.
Well,
Fantastic.
one of our guests made the mistake of mentioning Super Castlevania 4.
That he did.
So guess who gets to read this one now?
Frozer, are you
Okay.
still alive?
No, I'm not alive. Okay. So yeah, the next game is Super Castlevania 4 on the NES by on the SNES. It's the low percent category with the time of 42:11 by DK28. So happy to finally get this run. This is such a brutal category. The goal was always sub 43 with no unintentional deaths. This run fits the bill, but sub 42 is within reach. I will continue to grind, but ultimately, this run is going more than submittable. This is such a fun game. I disagree. But running this category makes me hate it at the same time. Just like the girlfriend you keep getting back together with, because you forget why you broke up with her. Kappa. I have to
That's
check
right.
those highlights.
Yeah, that on and off again relationship with Super Castlevania 4, huh?
Yeah, that's actually like a really good comparison. So I guess low percent is basically no upgrades.
You're allowed to get meat, as far as I know, and money bags don't count. But yeah, no hearts, no whip upgrades, no
whip
sub weapons. Yeah, it's just you and the leather whip, pretty much, and some delicious candle meat.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really impressive. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's a really cool room, too.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good choice on the highlight, DK. And then, of course, this fight at the end here. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, excellent. Congrats to DK28 on the 4211. I presume he's still going to keep working on this because he mentioned sub 42. So maybe we'll continue to see low
Yeah, he
percent
says
runs.
he'd
of this
continue
game.
to grind.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think like on the SDA thread, they are still discussing about what you can actually do and what not, and what's like if there's something even lower than it. But yeah, it's all I'm
No damage percent.
Yeah, as
No.
pacifist.
not gonna have. Pacifist is not gonna happen because like there's one stage with way too many enemies and you cannot skip that.
Yeah.
That's all I know of.
Who's been working on the no damage? Is that Joe D'Amelio lately?
Joe D'Amelio.
Yeah.
I remember.
Okay. No, I occasionally, like late at night, I'll see his channel up and I see no damage percent runs. I'm like, no thanks.
Huh. Yeah, wow. That's crazy.
That's gotta switch the routing up so hard though, because there's so many damage boosts in that game.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of any kind of
Like, yeah, CV games is like spending half the game like a couple of hits from death because you've been boosting through everything.
Right. You're using all your energy.
Yeah, and like it's really punishable, especially like every sort of spike is basically instant death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, pretty wild.
All right, so next game we have here is The Bombing Islands for PS1. Any percent in 137.51 by Rayquaza911, who says, Kid Clown returns and goes on a rampage, destroying every island he sees. Witness the greatest video game ending of all time. I guess you'll have to watch it to see what the greatest video game ending of all time
That's
is.
gonna be hard. I don't know about that,
Some
Rayquaza.
tough competition.
Yeah.
We might have to have a contest. For best
There's always
video.
using science correctly or thank you very much. I don't know.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah, there are some classic great video game endings out there. Feeling strong the will. Being the wise and courageous knight you are. But congrats, Rayquaza.
Yes, congrats.
I will have to check that out to see how the ending compares.
That's right.
But up next, we got a couple of Expendabros runs from Mirror's Mind. First one is PC any percent 15, or no, 15. No, there's no 1 in front of that. There's a 17 at the end, but there's only a 5 at the front. So 517 by Mirror's Mind. This time is without loading times. RTA timing is 542. And
Short game.
Yep. The low percent is 532. And he says this low percent run beats any percent by 24 seconds.
So is he talking about RTA time?
I would imagine.
Or was he talking about that beats the previous any percent before he got this?
Oh,
other
that probably.
percent?
Yeah, that could be a thing.
I don't know. It's unclear.
It's true.
It would be strange to see the in-game versus real-time warped that much. Like, for there to be that much of a difference. That a slower run could be faster by that amount. Well, okay. I guess we won't know what that's about. But
Hey,
that's
I wonder where
Mirror's Mind
Flicky
and
is.
Expendabros.
It's unfortunate because we do have a run for the Wonderful
it's the
101.
101.
It's a game that Flicky has told us
Very good
told
at
us
talking
all.
about.
Yes, he's quite good at talking about it.
Very good at talking about Wonderful 101.
But having
So we
watched some footage of the game, it seems to be worth it. Because the game looks really fun. Unfortunately, I don't have a Wii U, so
Is it weird that I have this game, a Wii U, and I have yet to touch it?
yes, from what I've
Yes.
looked at, it looks really, really fun. So why don't you go
I don't
touch
know,
that?
it doesn't look interesting to me. I don't know.
But you bought, interesting enough to get it. I guess there
Actually,
weren't
no,
lot
it
of
was a
choices.
gift. I didn't
Oh,
actually
really?
purchase it. It was just a gift someone gave to me.
No, I've watched a bit of footage of it and stuff like that. Some couple of clips from speedruns and stuff. It looks really fun to play, like casually, let alone a speedrun. So
I have
But
to
it-
play it eventually on stream when I finally get an HD capture card,
there you go.
which
yeah,
is
it's-
never going to happen.
The run is by Maelstrom, the PAL version. New game normal. 4 hours, 59 minutes, 15 seconds. Finally got the sub 5 after losing lots of attempts to just dumb stuff. First third was pretty bad overall, but decent play in Operation 5C, 6B, 6C, and overall in 8. Meant that I saved time and kept the lead. Going to go for 445 or so before I call this done, at least until some new stuff gets found that saves a lot of time. Right on. Good job, Maelstrom.
Congrats on the sub 5 run.
Seeing a lot of barriers broken this week. So.
Yes, a lot of arbitrary time barriers have
You know
been beaten. Okay, how about Vanquish? Anybody here played Vanquish?
I have not played it, but it's also an awesome looking game.
Very cool game. Yes, we've definitely enjoyed watching this on previous episodes. But this is a run by Half Coordinated, done in 1 hour, 40 minutes, 30 seconds on casual difficulty with no DLC. He says, an improvement of 1 minute, 37 seconds that also beat my sum of best splits prior to this run by 9 seconds. Wow, 9 seconds better than his sum of best.
Wow.
Yeah.
More time
Act
barriers.
2 was basically beautiful, and I had great upgrade luck throughout the run. My overall goal now is to sub 140, but that is definitely going to be rough. I love that sliding.
Yeah, exactly. The game looks like made to speedrun. Not even kidding.
Looks pretty neat.
Right.
Until those times where you gotta stop and push a stupid button for interrupting a speedrun buttons. But yeah, like I definitely like. That's the thing I like about like in a speed game that gets disappointing in certain games where I look at a game and I'm like, man, that might be cool to learn stuff, and then I realize just how slow paced it is. Like, no, I must go faster. So yeah, this looks like it absolutely fits the bill. I kind of wish I had the system to play it on.
Yeah. Slidey zoom pew pew.
Exactly,
Indeed.
just go freaking fast as hell. Yeah, I mean, like the first minute and a half of Demon Head is agonizing until I get the boots, and then it's like, okay, finally, it's fast.
Right.
So this looks like it's just fast from the get-go, which is perfect. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Good job, Half Coordinated. Excellent run. I hope to see that sub 140, man. A whole host of Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3 runs as well.
Go for it.
Vilak
I know
SR.
you want to read some of these off.
Well, sure, I'll read this off. All of them, not surprisingly, on the Game Boy. The first one is any percent in 2533. First, the timing of the run is different than of the video because I'm actually using RTA timing, that is 5 seconds or 5 to 6 seconds plus than my old timing. About the run, I always use the same strats for all levels of any percent. I've improved the levels of Stove Canyon, Parsley Woods, and Syrup Castle for a few seconds, but I also lost around 13 to 15 seconds in Fun Big Head Boss and Zenitsuki Giant Ghost Boss. For any percent no levels skip in 3806, he says, it's similar to any percent without skipping levels. My last PB run of this category was outdated for the reason that I saved 60 seconds with the 30 seconds with the actual strats for most of the levels. It was a good run. I only had a problem with Parsley Woods 31 where I lost almost 10 seconds for silly mistakes, but the rest of the run was fine. And last but not least, the All Treasures run in 5225. For this run, I used the same strats of my old PB, but I improved many levels for a few seconds, and the most notable levels improved are Rice Beach 3 for getting the first treasure, Rice Beach 04, where in my last PB I had some mistakes in the bat jumps off the pouncer skip, and a first try enemy jump in Syrup Castle 39 for getting the last treasure. Cool. Good job, Vilak.
Neat. Super Mario Land 3, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's one I didn't play. I played the first two and then somehow fell off this series, but I imagine I would love it.
Cool.
Because I like anything with Wario in it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay, that's enough of a
For
personal note
Super
here.
Page Turn 7. 8.
Wait, give me another 20 seconds so I can see the page turn.
Oh. Please. Page's turn, just assume it is.
All right, we'll just assume it is.
Excellent.
All right, let's, oh man. How about we have one of our guests read the next one?
Certainly.
You get either Wasteland 2 or Wayne's World, so someone speak up now if you have a preference.
I can actually do like Wasteland 2.
Go for it.
So yeah, this is Wasteland 2 on the PC. It's any percent Davy Crockett ending, also known as the bad ending, in 1521 by Cody. It's pretty fast to get a bad ending by using the M388 Davy Crockett nuke to kill everyone.
The Davy Crockett nuke. So this is bad ending. What? Okay, so you know what this is? What is David Crockett ending?
No, I just watched like a part of his stream, and I just like read his title, and it was like bad ending.
Oh, okay,
That's
I see.
what I know about. Also, like he says in the comment, it's a bad ending. So, yeah.
Well, sure,
What the good ending is, I don't know.
but it's got to be better than killing everyone with a nuke.
Yep.
I don't know about all that.
Can't get much worse.
Are they sure they've
All right.
got bad ending right? Oh,
There's
sorry,
bad
sorry.
ending and worse ending. That's
Fantasy,
going to be the
yeah.
options.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of something with multiple endings,
Well, it's party time. Excellent.
actually, I don't know if the NES game really has multiple endings. Just the movie does. But it's still enough to count as a segue on this show.
It is.
Close enough.
All right, Carl, read us Wayne's World.
All right. Wayne's World on the NES.
Yes.
Any
If you weren't going to do it, I was.
It's 7-Eleven by Arthur Blues. Party on, Wayne!
Party on, Garth.
Terrible game, honestly. Just so terrible. So I had to play it.
That's our author blues.
So there's a SNES version of this game as well, right? I think that's what I'm familiar with.
Yeah, I think like most people are really familiar with the NES version. At least
Right.
what I've heard about.
Yeah, so this was, I had to double check that this was the right console, but yes, apparently there is an NES version.
When did
I love
Wayne
the,
start nut kicking security guards?
Yeah, I know, I like how he kicks the security guard in the nuts. That's his go-to attack. Same thing with the final boss, just a bunch of like crouching and kicking stuff.
Apparently there's condos around here. I'm not sure where.
But yes, this does look very different than the Super Nintendo version.
Mm-hmm.
And I love these digitized faces that they have, the images they have in the ending are-
That was a
It's
big
creepy.
thing back in the NES days. There was like that, trying to show the photorealistic graphics with, 8-bit. So I remember the Bill and Ted game had black and white headshots of the actors. It was so bad. I'm gonna leave that up for just a second before we move on. Oh man, that is quality.
Yeah, that's some creepiness.
Oh, God.
Oh, great.
All right.
Almost looks like
Excellent.
Jackie Chan.
What?
Yeah, it kind of does.
All right.
Oh,
Well, that was
man.
fun. And
Excellent.
Top shelf. I think that's our raid message for tonight is excellent.
that's a pretty good suggestion. Excellent. All right.
So,
final
Fees, I
game
think
on
you
the
know
list.
something about this next one here.
Yeah, well, there's not much to say about this except that it's awesome.
Hey.
Zelda 2 is back. Actually, ProJN now has taken the record back from Simple Dude. Simple Dude had taken the record within the last few weeks. He'd been getting some really nice. Actually, he's been working on this game for quite a while and on this category for quite a while. But 90% Deathless now. ProJN has reclaimed his spot at the top for the moment. I would guess that it's still a hotly contested run, but 58
It's contagious.
5803. Yeah, it's you with the 15s. 5803 for the any percent Deathless category is where we're at now, and I actually haven't watched this run yet, so I don't know if there's any major sources of time loss, but I think this is significant improvement over the previous record, or at least the record that we mentioned last week. So wow, congrats.
Absolutely.
And it's cool to see ProJN is still playing Zelda 2. There was a
Indeed.
time when he had all the records, or almost all the records for this game, and then I hadn't seen him stream much, but I'm glad that he's still not lost his touch.
Well, cool. And that wraps
Awesome.
up records for the week.
That's a wrap on
So
records.
to all our new record holders, I have to say, excellent.
Excellent.
Good job,
We're gonna
everybody.
spew in this. Wow. So do we have any news, any announcements? Is there anything
Oh, but
happening?
hold
the
on,
next
let me
week?
smack us. Wait, no, mouse, please. Why are you going to die on me here? Hold on. Mouse issues. Okay, mouse issues fixed. Moving on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We got, what, Chicagothon? That's more than a week from now, though, right?
Yes, same with DeuceCon. Those are both going on the weekend of, oh gosh, what's the date? The 17th, I believe. So yeah, DeuceCon, I believe, runs 4 days. Chicagothon, I want to say it's 3, but either way, 2 really cool marathons. You should tune into both of them at the same time. It'd be amazing.
So that's all starting not this coming Friday, but the Friday after that. DeuceCon and Chicagothon.
Yes.
All right. Well, next week we'll give you some. We'll remind you again about that and give you some links to where to look, and hopefully by then the schedules will all be finalized and we'll know exactly who's playing what when.
I was say 2 slightly different marathon formats. DeuceCon is just a casual marathon, or well, it's a speedrunning marathon, not casual play, but it's as far as I know, they're not like raising any money or anything like that. It's just a meetup, a get together, come out, watch some speedrun, repeat some games real fast. Chicagothon is a donation to get certain runners to AGDQ who might need a little bit of fund helping and stuff like that. So, oh, there you go. DeuceCon is the 16th through the 19th. Crack Attack right there with it.
19th. Okay, so that's Thursday through Sunday of the week after this one. All right.
That is correct.
All right, cool. Yeah, if I can't think of anything else. If anybody in the audience has any events that are coming up that you want to make sure we don't forget to mention, go ahead and tell us now. We should also start talking about Stream Raid. Suggestions for who to stream raid would be very helpful.
Hold on, let me take.
We've already got a
we do have a raid message. We definitely have a raid message.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah.
Let's see who's doing things here.
Yeah, that's true. The Best of the Nest marathon is coming, but we've got a few more weeks before that. That's towards the end of this month, I believe.
Ooh, I've got a couple.
But that'll
ideas.
be awesome. The Best of Nest. Excellent.
Indeed. Let's see here. How about? Oh yeah, that'd be my suggestion right now. Oh, hold on. Let me get into the chat and sneak it around.
Look at the secret ballot here.
I just ruined the times. No.
No.
Oh, I fixed it.
All the times are. Oh, thank goodness it remembers where you're.
Yes, where previous split was.
So. Round Scout running Soden. He must have just started doing it, and he's going to immediately get a world record because that's how he works.
It's true. Well, he's doing races, it looks like, but yeah, we could go see some Soden races.
I liked your suggestion too.
Yeah, both are kind of.
Who's got fewer viewers between those two?
The one that I suggested there.
Right.
A bunch.
Let's do that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, we'll tell you in just a moment.
Abda Jr.
Yeah, we are going to raid
He's
Abda
playing
Jr.
Breath of Fire 3.
Yes, he is. And the raid message already copied and pasted, I see, is excellent.
Excellent. There's excellence flying around everywhere. This should be perfect. All right, cool. Well, then, why don't you go head on over to that channel? You can also check out Ramscal playing Soten if you'd like, because, that is fun. But our official raid is going to be Abda Jr. And we're going to tell this fella how excellent we think everything is. That's our raid message. And let's see, you can leave the stream up at the end if you'd like and mute it while we run some ads. Or not. Yep. I don't care.
We don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Watch them or not.
You showed up. That's the important part.
Exactly.
So thanks for watching. We've got an episode for you next week. I don't. Let me wait till I can 100% confirm. But I think I know what we've got lined up for you next week. Yep. We have something in the works here. All right. Anything else?
I want to do some shoutouts if I can.
Why, certainly,
absolutely.
Sir.
Oh, okay. So yeah, first of all, shoutouts to the #PSO crew. The only people that actually play this game at this time. Also the best people around here. Also shoutouts to my girlfriend. She's probably sleeping right now or awake. And she's probably mad at me because I'm speaking a little bit too loud. And of course, shoutouts to all of the people who watch PSO streams regularly or watching my stream. I really appreciate all those support. Yeah,
Right on,
great. If anyone wants to start running Fantasy Star Online, they should definitely get into it. It looks like there's room for improvement in it. Particularly this all missions seems pretty interesting to me.
Indeed.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely
I put a lot
come.
of work. I put a lot of work into all missions, though. I have my route pretty much perfected, almost, sort of.
Oh, man.
Ish. So if you want competition, I'm waiting.
All
There you
right, yeah, competition that's all anyone wants when they're getting into running a game.
It's true. It is true.
Cool.
Well, everybody,
Any
thanks.
shout-outs?
Oh, yeah,
Carl,
yeah.
or-
Carl, what you got, man? Anybody?
Shoutouts to food, because I'm gonna go eat.
Yeah, that's
That's what I
definitely
like
on
to
the
do
list.
After the show. That's the number one thing that I do after.
I got priorities.
TSSB ends.
Priorities a huge bowl of chili waiting for me downstairs. So that's going to get annihilated.
That's right. I've got a Christmas tree made of corn dogs that I'm slowly making my way through.
God bless us, everyone. Oh, man. Fantastic, Fiesel. Well, thanks very much to our guests. Thanks very much to all of y'all in the audience for watching. Like Fiesel said, we're going to play about 3 minutes of ads. If you want to mute that, help us a little bit. We'd appreciate it. Other than that, we love y'all, and we'll see you next week.
That's it. See you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellent!
Take care,
What
y'all.
am I doing? Yeah.
The Sunday Sequence Break.